The story begins.
Some students are out on a picnic.
Our heroine, Xiao Kang, was writing in her diary. The friend sitting next to her was about to peek, but accidentally drops the pen. As Xiao Kang bends down to pick up the pen, something strange happens. A mysterious gust of wind suddenly blows and turns the car ahead into an open touring car. Xiao Kang is left stunned after witnessing all this. Just then, the same wind moves toward her, but she ducks in time and narrowly escapes. When she looks back, she sees that an electric pole has also bent and fallen over. Now she realized that staying here was like inviting death. She immediately jumps off the bus and runs away. But that strange wind still wouldn't stop chasing her. A little further ahead, she saw 4 people walking on foot. She shouted loudly, telling everyone to duck, but no one listened to her. Helplessly, she was only able to save one of them. Meanwhile, some cyclists appear from the front. Seeing this, Xiao Kang starts running again, and she has no idea how long she keeps running. Eventually, she reaches the riverbank. The scene there was even more terrifying. The river was filled with the mutilated bodies of her own friends. Without thinking, she picks up a clean cloth, wipes off the blood, and leaves from there. After a while, she reaches her school. But even now, her mind was numb. Just then, her best friend Xiao Ji comes up to her and asks, "What state have you gotten yourself into? Why are all your clothes wet?" Now Xiao Kang realizes that all her friends were dead, so how are they all alive here? And nothing like a picnic had even happened. Just then, a gust of wind suddenly blows again, and Xiao Kang, terrified, collapses to the ground. Thinking she's unwell, Xiao Ji supports her and takes her inside the school. As soon as they reach inside the gate, another gust of wind comes and Xiao Kang runs away in fear. Xiao Ji follows after her. After a while of trying to calm her down, Xiao Kang says, "I think I had a strange dream." In the dream, that mysterious wind cuts through the entire school, splitting everyone into 2 halves. And the clothes I'm wearing actually belong to my dead friend. Hearing this, Xiao Ji tries to reassure her, saying, "Oh, it was just a bad dream." Dreams always turn out the opposite in real life. After this, the 2 of them go looking for their other friends, Xiao Ji and Xiao Mei. Then all 4 decide to skip class and go hang out by the lake. As soon as they go downstairs, they run into their teacher. After exchanging a few words with the teacher, they all manage to slip away. By the way, guys, think back. Where did you all go when you used to skip class? Be sure to tell me in the comments because I never skipped class myself. After a while, they all reach the lakeside. There, Xiao Ji tells the others about Xiao Kang's dream, that the whole school died from a mysterious wind and only she survived. Hearing this, Xiao Mei says, "That could actually be true. There are countless universes in this cosmos, and in every universe, there is another version of us. For example, if I throw a stone into this lake, then in another universe, the version of me there might not throw the stone." Everyone finds her explanation convincing. Just then, Xiao Mei notices that there are 2 pillows lying on the ground. He picked it up and the pillow fight began. But as soon as Xiao Kang threw the pillow, his finger got cut. He looked up and saw that suddenly 2 strangers were standing there. When Xiao Kang looked up, he found that the strangers who had just been standing there had mysteriously disappeared. Before she could understand anything, Xiao Mei picked up a feather from the ground and said, "Where this feather falls is already decided. No matter how much you struggle, you can't change fate." Xiao Kang asked, "So does that mean we can never change our destiny?" Xiao Mei replied, "No, it's not impossible. There's just one shortcut. That is, do something you would never normally do, and do it before that moment arrives. Only when your mind realizes it can your destiny change." Just as they were saying this, Xiao Ji reminded them that the second period was about to start. "Let's hurry to school." The 3 of them ran off together. But as they were leaving, Xiao Mei turned back and said, "Never give up in the face of reality. Life is always real, and if you can't handle reality, you'll lose." The scene changes. Now Xiao Kang is sitting in class. She bends down and suddenly finds a pillow lying on the floor. Xiao Ji saw her pick up the pillow and laughed, saying, "Let's play pillow fight, throw it over here." But as soon as she threw the pillow, the whole atmosphere changed. In the classroom, the teacher grabbed a Gatling gun and started shouting, "Everyone die!" and then unleashed a hail of bullets. Xiao Kang barely escaped with his life, because Xiao Mei and Xiao Jai arrived just in time and pulled him away. They said in panic, "Our class teacher has also killed all the children." The 3 of them immediately went and hid in another classroom, but there too, another teacher barged in. In one hand was an amphora, and in the other, a shotgun. Xiao Jai foolishly ran towards him and lost his life. Now Xiao Mei grabbed Xiao Kang's hand and the 2 started to run away. But they couldn't escape the speed of the bullets. Xiao Mei, wounded, fell to the ground. With her last breath, she said, "Never give up against reality. and then she passed away. Seeing this, Shao Kahn went mad and ran outside to save her life. But the situation outside was even more dangerous. All the teachers, armed with heavy weapons, were attacking the children. Somehow she managed to get out of the school with 4 other children. But as soon as they stepped out of the gate, that mysterious wind attacked her again. Fortunately, Shao Kahn had the blessing of a main character, which somehow allowed her to escape and reach a busy city street. There was something strange here. She didn't see a single boy along the entire way. Everyone she saw was a girl. Shao Kahn went straight to the police station. There, the police officer saw her and said, "Hey, aren't you Xiao Xing? Isn't your wedding today? How did you end up here? And why are you wearing a school uniform?" Saying this, the police officer handed her a mirror. As soon as Shao Kahn looked in the mirror, she was shocked. She saw a completely different person in the reflection. The police officer said, "Come on, hurry up, you're getting late for your wedding," and made her sit in the police car. But as soon as the car started moving, everyone standing on the street began banging on the car and laughing. Eventually, Shao Kahn was taken to the makeup room. There, her makeup, again, it was with Xiao Ji. Shao Kahn was just about to ask what was going on when Xiao Ji grabbed her hand and said, "I know what you're going through, but don't say anything right now. We're being watched." Then she picked up the hairdryer and started drying Shao Kahn's hair. Just then, Shao Kahn suddenly remembered the bus accident and, terrified, collapsed to the ground. Meanwhile, the wedding gown also arrived. Xiao Ji made up an excuse and sent everyone else out of the room. After everyone had left the room, Shao Kahn anxiously asked Xiao Ji, "What on earth is going on?" In a calm tone, Xiao Ji said, "You are now both Shao Kahn and Xiao Xing. Today is your wedding day. Don't be afraid. Just do exactly as I say." She adjusted Shao Kahn's wedding dress, and just then, 4 women entered the room. Xiao Ji grabbed one of them and said, "Xiao Xing, watch carefully." She began teaching her how to handle the situation. In the end, there was one left who didn't have any gas. Xiao Ji took Shao Kahn's hand and taught her personally, settling everything in one swift move. After that, she handed over a broken bottle and said, "The wedding is about to begin. Here, you go first. I'll be right behind you." Shao Kahn composed herself and entered the wedding hall alone. At first, she was showered with flowers. As soon as the piano music started playing, the atmosphere changed. The women standing around began to stare at her strangely. Then she was led up to the stage. The woman playing the piano smiled and said, "Come on, now go meet your groom." As soon as Shao Kahn looked ahead, she was stunned. Without thinking, she grabbed a bottle and struck the groom right on the neck. People started screaming when they saw this. She had killed her husband. Everyone started running away. At that moment, 2 teachers from the school also showed up and a fight broke out. After a tough struggle, Shao Kahn and Xiao Ji defeated them and escaped. While running, Shao Kahn said, "It seems like someone is following us." Xiao Ji said, "You keep running, I'll distract them." To be honest, Xiao Ji turned out to be a truly life-risking friend. As Shao Kahn kept running ahead, she saw an athlete waving at her. She didn't pay much attention, but the athlete grabbed her hand and said, "Hey, isn't this Shao Kahn? It's been so many days since we last met." Shao Kahn was once again left surprised. When she looked in the nearby mirror, she saw that her face had changed again. Stammering, she asks, "What on earth is happening?" The athlete said, "It's okay, just run with us." As soon as she starts running on the track, she suddenly sees her deceased friends Xiao Mei and Xiao Che. A little while later, Xiao Che also arrives. But from behind, that same teacher and her groom show up again. To stop them, Xiao Ji showed Shao Kahn a shortcut and started distracting the enemies herself. Shao Kahn kept running until she reached a dark cave. There she met a woman who, without saying a word, grabbed her hand and pulled her inside the cave. But as soon as she entered, Shao Kahn was confronted by a group surrounded by needle-like objects. Her mind was completely shaken. The woman said, "Why don't you just die? As long as you're alive, everyone will die. It's better if you end yourself instead." She was just about to attack when suddenly Xiao Ji appeared from behind and finished her off. Then she grabbed Xiao's hand and started running. After reaching a safe place, Xiao Ji said, "Now say 3 times in a row, 'I am Xiao Kahn.' I am neither Xiao Jing nor Shao Kahn." Shao Kahn said this and then returned to her true form. This time Xiao Ji extended her hand. There was a red thread on one of her hands and a blue one on the other. She said, "You have to pull both threads at the same time to finish me off." Shao Kahn couldn't understand anything and her hands froze. She just couldn't do it. Seeing this, Xiao Ji angrily slapped her hard on the cheek. Xiao Ji said to Shao Kahn, "This world isn't real. We're all just trapped here, waiting to die for no reason. But you are the protagonist of this story." If you finish me, a path will open and you'll be able to go to the world on the other side. Shao Kahn hesitated but finally pulled both threads. Suddenly, a door-like opening appeared. He gathered his courage and stepped out through that passage. The sight before him left him utterly stunned. It was a world that was completely the opposite. There wasn't a single woman there. Everyone was a man, and a large poster on the wall took his breath away. It had his own picture on it, and below was written, "Real Devil Game." At that moment, a man came up to him and said, "Remember me." Shao Kahn couldn't make sense of anything and collapsed unconscious. When he regained consciousness, he found himself in a mysterious place. As soon as he entered, he saw that the walls were lined with many dolls just like him, and in the innermost part, an old man with white hair was sitting and playing a game. Gradually, the truth came to light. The old man said, "You still don't understand? You were already dead. I have recreated you and your friends from DNA, and from this, I have made this real, demonic game." Hearing this, anger began to boil inside Shao Kahn. He remembered what Xiao Mei had said. If you want to change your fate, do something no one ever expected. Shao Kahn took a deep breath and decided to rebel. He shouted, "Stop treating us like toys!" and then, by hurting himself, broke the strings of that game. He had only one belief: if I can't change the outcome, at least I can change everything else. At this moment, the story ends.